Zach here. It's a beautiful morning in southern Colorado, and I'm just about to hit the thrift store like an animal, but first I need some coffee because I'm dragging ass. Well, I see some of my reseller friends' vehicles, so it'd be nice to catch up with a couple of them. I did open the store a couple minutes early today, which is kind of odd. No big deal. I always kill it on LL Bean outerwear, and normally I would probably skip on a hoodie, but this guy is a special size, and it's actually a much newer style, so there won't be a whole lot of money to be made off of it. But this time of year I'm trying to place an emphasis on lighter weight coats, hoodies, vests, spring and summer apparel, and so hoodies seem to sell all right this time of year as winter's winding down. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop this guy up. I'm coming across a lot of Peter Millar and Travis Matthews quarter zips and vests lately, and I do good on those, so I'm gonna grab this guy. It's priced up at $7.99, which I wish it was a little bit cheaper. Probably only sold it for maybe mid-20s or maybe a little more, but they're pretty light to ship. It's pretty clean. It's a good size. Gonna grab. I'm a huge New England Patriots fan, and this is a super sweet quarter zip. It's a good size. Not real familiar with that brand, but it's definitely 90s, maybe even late 80s. I'm gonna think on this one. It's priced up. It's hard to say what I can sell for in football season. Has passed, but kind of cool, nostalgic. Might grab it. Been digging pretty hard, fast and furious, and finally found a Roosevelt's button-up shirt. It's $8.99, but these shirts sell, so I'll be looking for that little Teddy Roosevelt emblem. Pretty cool brand too. They put some cool graphics on their shirts. So this is the only second time I found one. Well, I keep preaching not to pick up Peter Millar shirts or even Travis Matthews, especially polos, but this is kind of the exception. This guy here's got a cool Western print to it. It's got some cowboy boots, cactuses, a little 6-shooter, and some horses, and it's not a bad size, and it's not a bad price. It's only $5, so I'm gonna scoop it. If you find any cool polo shirts with odd prints, grab them. Stumbled across this cool 2XL men's flannel, and plus size cool flannels have a 105% sell-through rate, at least in 2XL, so kind of a no-brainer. It is priced up, but these go for 30s, so I'm gonna grab. These are 511 tactical cargo pants, but they're ripstop, and they're not a bad size. They're 34, 32, and they appear to be kind of a newer style, but they are $10.99, so profit won't be great on them, but I sell a lot of these, and I prefer them to be ripstop if I'm gonna pay up for them. If they're not that, I just want to buy them in a garage sale for nothing because they don't sell for much, but I'm gonna think on this one. I may grab them. I was gonna make a move on these Cinch white label thick stitch Western bootcut jeans, but there's a little bit of fraying on the front, and yeah, I'll walk. Proverbial hard goods run through. Not seeing much today, but keeping my hopes up that I find like a really expensive cast iron pan or something. I don't know. Something easy to list. Not too bad in there. Walked out with 6 different items. Did pay up on every darn one of them. The best item I probably came out with was the Roosevelt's button-up shirt, but all the items were kind of bread and butter, so happy about that. This store is always solid, and it was nice to catch up with several of my reseller friends. Love my community. I'm going to go ahead and race up the road, hit the Methodist Thrift, and then be back on my way down to southern New Mexico. If you have made it this far, please reach out there and hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. All right, hoping for all the best finds at the Methodist Thrift Store here in beautiful Durango, Colorado. Let's do this thing. Morning. This kid's beanie for a couple bucks, and I found this Mountain Hardwear women's beanie for $3, so I'm gonna go ahead and scoop them. Not a great time to be buying beanies, but they are easy to list and they'll sell. So I'm not gonna buy these because the cost's way too high, but be on the lookout for Doc Martens that were made in England. Those are the ones you want. The quality of the leather seemed to go down once they stopped making them in England, so go for those ones. They won't do you wrong. I bumped into this Troy Lee Designs youth motocross racing outfit. It is priced at $15, which was a little bit cheaper, but I might be able to make $40 or more off of it. I'm gonna take the risk. So nothing super exceptional, but I did get out of there for $20, and hopefully I might have, I don't know, maybe $60 to $70 worth of inventory just right there. Maybe. That's on the high end probably. But I'm gonna go ahead and make the journey back down to New Mexico, make one last stop at my local thrift store, give some hugs, and hopefully find something for dirt cheap. and hopefully find a volume of good things.
Welcome back, friends and followers. Zach here, full-time reseller, and I wanted to go ahead and continue filming today. I am back up in Durango, Colorado. The other day, as I got done with my day and was starting to head south, I ended up getting a flat tire, and after I got that all taken care of, I all but forgot to close out my content for that day. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up where I left off. Back up here in Durango, gonna race in and hopefully find some good stuff to resell online for profit. And as always, I'll share it with you, and hopefully that'll help give you a better idea of maybe some things that you could pick up to turn for a profit yourself. So let's go.
All right, gonna keep my fingers crossed. All right, been coming across a lot of Peter Millar and Travis Matthews quarter zips. This one needs a little bit of a lint roller, but it's in pretty clean shape, $7. Gonna go ahead and, well, I burned through several different racks. Haven't found a whole lot. It is Monday here though, and Monday is hit and miss. Sometimes the racks have been really depleted from the weekend, and sometimes they're nice and plentiful. So just gonna keep my head down and keep burning through and hopefully come across something good. This marine layer button-up men's shirt is only $5. It is marked down, otherwise I would skip on it. It's not a great color, size is good, and not the best brand, but I've sold marine layer before. And I'm not finding much else, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab it because spring's coming, and this is one of them spring, summertime brands. All right, the universe always reminds me when it's time to shout out the men and women of our armed forces branches, and my brother who's in the Navy, but also my oldest son who's in the Marine Corps. Love you guys, appreciate your sacrifice. Raw. This is a Figs piece, and it looks like it's a weird scrub top, like a quarter zip style. It's only $5. Figs is solid for me. Gonna grab. All right, this is a Lele women's running quarter zip. It's like a performance material. It is 50% off. It's $8 marked down to $4. We'll go ahead and grab it. All right, this is a Viore jacket, and I found it in the women's section, but it's pretty big. I think it's a men's jacket, and it's only $6, so I am gonna grab it because that's a great brand. So be on the lookout for work apparel. This is a Taco Bell shirt, and I'm not gonna get it, but I have sold UPS stuff. You're not supposed to. And I sold some Target shirts and something else. But the buy-in was dirt cheap. I think I got all those items at a garage sale. So only buying if it's dirt cheap. This is a vintage LL Bean women's half zip, and it's only $5, but they got it 30% off. So for like $3 and some change, I'm gonna grab it. All right, I'm gonna grab this Brooks women's running shirt. It's like a performance material. It's $5, marked off 50%. It's in pretty good shape. I'm gonna scoop it. Pretty good. A lot of bread and butter pieces. Didn't pay much for anything though today. A lot of this stuff was marked 30 to 50% off, and I'm good with that.
So my little tidbit of advice today while I'm making that little commute between thrift stores is simply this: that if you're limited on your sourcing stores, don't shy away from looking in sections you might not be real comfortable with. For me, in the last several months, I've really started to attack the women's clothing section, and I've always sold women's shoes and women's outerwear, but I have been delving a little bit deeper into some of the women's clothing racks, especially because I'm just faster at getting through the men's clothing racks. For a long time, I would lean on the children's clothing racks when I was done with the men's, but I've kind of realized that with doing that, I'm not benefiting from all the clothes that are in the women's section. And if you go into just about any Goodwill, the women's clothing section generally always is bigger than the men's section. However, there are a few caveats to selling women's clothing. Women can be more particular about size, fit, condition, color, and there is a higher rate of return on women's clothing, and that is a fact. And so that's something to think about. Just make sure you're eyeballing your pieces good, and definitely be putting hand measures on your listings if the size is in question. I think that's a good thing to do regardless, but just know you're leaving money on the table. And especially for me, when I can't find but 1 or 2 men's garments like today, I'll often just start pouring myself over into the women's section, and I find a lot of the same similar great quality brands. That doesn't always mean the sell-through rates are going to be the same, so be sure you're looking it up. But just know that if you're not growing your business, you're not growing in the areas of knowledge and what you could be selling, you're probably not going to get better at this, and that is what I think is the fun part.
I'm going to be a real rebel this Monday and not pay the parking meter because I don't have any change, and I don't have any dollar bills to get change here at the Methodist Thrift, so I'm going to just have to live life on the edge of town and be a rebel like that. Alright, so not a brand I buy a whole lot anymore, but these are corduroy. The price is there. They're a good size, 30, 32, so I'm going to snag them. Stumbled across these women's silver thick stitch jeans. They are only $8. And then right behind it, some Miss Me thick stitch jeans. These are $6. These will sell for a little bit more. I'll go ahead and grab both. I came across these women's Mountain Hardwear belted hiking shorts. They're only $4. Gonna grab it. I'll be paying up for these. These are Burton men's snowboard pants. They're black. They're a little bit beat up down on the bottoms. They're gonna need washed. And that's not uncommon for them to be kind of beat up. But Burton snowboard pants sell really well. These may not sell this year, but they'll definitely sell by next year, if not this year. So thank God I got no traffic ticket here on this old beat up work car of mine. Thank God, because the police station's right across the street.
All right, well, I just got home to my house in northern New Mexico, and all in all, it was a pretty successful day up thrifting in Durango. I came away with 13 items, and I did spend almost $70, but that's thrifting for you. Hopefully this is helping some people out there that are new in the thrift game, or giving some people some ideas on some different clothing brands to buy and resell for profit. I'm gonna go ahead and wind this thing down, but I appreciate everybody that's been following, and again, everybody that comments, I appreciate it a ton. If you like this video, please hit like, make a comment, or please subscribe.